Is Kelowna's housing market taking another turn? This week, we saw 221 new listings, 141 price drops, and more than 100 canceled homes. For buyers, that could mean more negotiation power is back on the table, but with the inventories starting to shrink as we're heading into fall, the window for deals might be closing faster than you think. So we're going to break it down exactly what these numbers mean for buyers, but also for sellers in this market heading into the end of 2025 and into 2026. Welcome back to another edition of Kelowna Real Estate Weekly, where we're breaking down Kelowna's real estate market for this past week, ending by August 31st. Today is September 1st as we're posting this, but looking at the real estate market and seeing what was and what is happening right now on a weekly basis. So you as a home seller or even as a home buyer can make educated decisions, whether buying, selling, investing, whatever you're planning to do. This is up to date. So please reach out if you do have any comments. We're also going to break down 3 different articles. If you haven't been here before, break it all down and look at the real estate market Canada-wide, wide, and also locally here in Kelowna. You want to miss it. We're going to break it down and specifically look at today benefits for buyers in the marketplace. Is the time closing on you right now to get the good deals that you're probably looking for? Now, digging into the hot sheet here, not a whole lot of change from where we were last week. You can see 221 new listings this past week, 141 price decreases. So we're still seeing lots of sellers still try and match and find those buyers and adjusting their price points. A lot of movement. We're going to see how much people are moving. 93 sales sold, which is down from July's average of 100 to 110, likely due to the monthly slowdown, back to school slowdown. Canceled listing 123. We'll be monitoring these canceled and expired listings. As we're heading into winter, it's one of the big indicators of the drop in supply, which we're going to break it down also in a little bit. But for the price decreases, let's see on average what people are dropping by, because 1% increase. And as we're looking at it, total active listings, as we saw with all the cancellations and withdrawals on the marketplace, we're starting to see inventory coming off the market. So in the green here is the active amount of listings, and this is year to date. So we're starting January just for 2025. So you saw how the inventory peaked right in June, and then it's slowly been coming off here in the last couple months. Some of it will be summer slowdown. We are heading into fall and winter. So we will continue to see that just based on a seasonal average coming down. But the one thing to also note is we saw the peak of sales in July, and it's dropped a little bit here in August as we're going. We're not through August completely, but we did see August start and drop off. From end of July to the end of the year, so August, September, October are really good months with about 40% of the market, if you base it on the 10-year average, still left to sell. So we're going to see how the market responds. Still a lot of uncertainty in the marketplace, and the economy, as we're going to get into later in this video, is maybe not doing as good as originally had hoped. So as a home buyer right now in the marketplace, now we're starting to see some of the activity drop off the market, some of the active listings. So if you do see a home on the market, if you are actively needing to buy a place or really wanting one and want to find out that really good price, if you want to try and get a deal right now, might be the best time. As highest pain point right now, a lot of as we're seeing with cancellations, it's been a frustrating market for a lot of home sellers, and expectations haven't met reality yet. So right now is a great time to put in an offer and negotiate on them. We're going to break down and see some negotiation room, but break it down and don't be afraid for those Hail Mary offers. All right, and so for some somber news here, we're looking at BCRA's nowcast. These are the GDP estimates for June 2025 and the preliminary estimates for July of 2025. So this was just produced on Friday of this week, but looking at it, Canada may be in a recession as we're looking at. We saw negative GDP growth throughout Canada at negative 0.4%. So where we were seeing the states increase the GDP growth, and I think around 3.3%. This is a huge change and competitive difference, right? So it's, especially with the trade and negotiations, been hearing stories too of businesses laying off people. So a lot of it's happening out east. I'm not sure how much of it is actually happening out west. Kelowna specifically is a different market sector, especially when you're looking at the real estate market. A lot of technology here, which is really growing in the marketplace. Also, other impacts like the wine and tourism industries, they have been hit in the last few years with weather, but hopefully with today's weather and things happening, things are looking a lot better. We can recoup over those days. But when we're looking at BCRA's forecast here, you can see how the economy is doing. And BC is doing slightly better here. It's tough to see without zooming in there, but we're doing slightly better projected for July of 2025 here at 1.2%. And Canada was at 0.7%. So we are on a negative trend. We are heading down. We have been heading down for quite some time. We're not the most productive, but hopefully with the technology, we can get more productive in Canada. That's one benefit Kelowna also does have is we have a lot of retirees, but we're starting to see technology and people move here that are younger and using technology to be able to get into here. So Kelowna might be a more productive per person GDP. So lots of growth they have. Here is actual growth here, but looking at it, just a little bit somber news. Something to keep in mind is this economic activity against the trend growth. So we are negative behind the trend growth. So we are tracking lower than where we should be as a province. A lot of other indicators on it. And especially in the construction industry, we're going to start to see some more slowdowns in the multifamily and that. So we are going to have to be cognizant of that. It was from City of Kelowna. The council meetings, Kelowna is set to review the density bonusing program to focus more on affordable housing. Developers contribute toward affordable housing. And when seeking extra height or density, critics are arguing right now it's adding uncertainty for neighborhoods that are already facing provincially mandated densification. So city staff is reviewing the program with the changes to be expected by 2026 to better balance the concerns in the community and housing needs. So let me know in the comments, do you agree with this or not? Are density bonusing good? We need to get more affordable housing into the marketplace. We're nickeling and diming everybody along the way. So any benefits we can give back, at the end of the day, it's going to go back to the consumer, and maybe units won't be built if these different costs continue. We're seeing that right now in the real estate market where costs just don't make sense for a lot of developers to build. So why would they put their own risk and time frame and livelihood on the line just to build homes if it's not going to make sense, or the governments aren't going to incentivize them and make it make sense for that? More affordable housing is what we need in Kelowna, and density bonusing